Page 13, Christopher Columbus. This piece you're using, it's got two clefs. Now you got the grand staff. You got that curly brace at the beginning for the grand staff. So you got treble clef at the top staff and bass clef at the bottom. The right hand's going to play the stuff in the treble clef, the top staff, and the left hand's going to do the stuff in the bottom staff, the bass clef. 4/4 time. You got a bunch of quarter notes and half notes. We've been all through that. Hopefully I don't have to explain the counting every time. That's okay. So then the question is, okay, where do the hands go? Well, let's take a look. It starts out with the bottom staff, that's the left hand, and they want the thumb on the G, so we're going to go here. If we do that, the other fingers are going to go around it here, and that you're in C position. The right hand in the third measure over, the thumb is on middle C here, and that puts the fingers here, so you're here. You're in C position. Both hands are in C position. And you need both hands up here because both hands are going, okay. Make sure you can say the names of all these notes. Go over and over and over and over. It's got to be automatic. Make sure you can play all the notes. Hopefully you can play all the notes. Then you get the counting in. Quarter note gets a count. Half note gets 2 counts. That's really all we have here, half notes and quarter notes. So you work on that, and once you got the fingering and the notes and the counting and all that down, then you can go back and add the dynamics, the louds and softs. You see under the first staff they give you an MF. That is sort of loud, medium loud, mezzo forte, moderately loud. I don't know how technical you want to get. So it's sort of loud, not loud, just sort of loud. And then in the third measure over, that's loud. This is louder than sort of loud, so this it's got to be louder than the first. However loud you were here, just go up a little bit. Then in the second line, same thing. Sort of loud for the first 2 measures, and then loud for the last 2. And then when you get down to the last line, there's nothing. So you just keep doing what you were doing. At the end of the second line you were loud, so the last line you're going to be loud. You stay loud. All the way through it. All the way through the end of that last line. Well, this is interesting. Take a look on page 12, just briefly. And you look at the end of the second line. You see that thin and thick bar line. That's the symbol for the end of a piece. It means the piece is over. You look at music and you'll see this. It's not always at the end, it's to be someplace else, but that's where the piece is going to end eventually. Well, on page 13, you look at the bottom at the last line there at the end. Those are 2 thin bar lines. That's not the end of the piece. That's actually indicating a section break. We can take a piece of music and divide it up into sections, like chapters in a book, and normally we would divide these, indicate that section when you're going into another section, the boundary between the sections with a double line like that, just 2 thin lines. Call it a double bar line. Well, if you look at the end of the second line, you'll see the repeat sign. That means you're going to go back to the beginning and play that part again. Now when you get to the bottom, there's a note underneath it. It says repeat the first 2 lines for the third verse. They don't say for the third verse, it just goes third verse. You're supposed to interpret it and mean, oh, I can sing, because there's 3 verses up there on the first and second line, which gives you a hint that you're going to go through them at least 3 times. So the note at the bottom is simply telling you to go back and do the first 2 lines again. And if you're singing, you'd sing the third verse. So at the end of the second line, that's where the piece ends. The repeat sign is covering up the end of the piece marker. But that's what, and when you get to the repeat, the end of the second line, you stop. You don't do the last line again. You only do the last line once. So let's unravel out of that mess. We're going to do the first and second line, repeat it, do the first and second line again, then do the third line, then go back up to the beginning and do the first 2 lines again and stop. It's a lot longer than it looks, huh? So let's try that. And we're going to do all that in the play with me. We're just going to go real slow because I want to check the notes and the rhythms. So I'm going to give us 4 counts. So go ahead and put your hands, both hands, in C position. Now remember, before you do the play with me, you got to learn it first so you can play it start to finish without any hesitations. You see, if you have a live teacher there and they're playing with you and you hesitate or something, they can adjust and they can stay with you. I can't do that. I'm just a recording. So I'm just going to keep going, and it's up to you to figure it out. So make sure you can play this smoothly all the way through. 1, 2, ready, go. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Repeat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Go on. Go to the top. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. Now there is a duet at the bottom. I'd like to play that. So you play just what you played and I will do the duet. But the duet part's a little weird because it's got a bunch of empty measures. So meaning the duet isn't, the bottom part isn't playing anything. The teacher's part is quiet while you're playing by yourself. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and play your part with you for those measures. So I'm going to play throughout the whole thing something. Now to make this work, I need you to go up an octave on the keyboard. Now what's that mean? Okay, your middle C's here. Your hands are here. I need you to pretend that middle C just goes up to the next C up. And pretend this is middle C. So your hands, instead of here, they'll be up here. And you just play it all up here. There. That'll work better because the duet part is using these notes and it won't sound good if you're using the same notes. Now we're going to go a little faster. So go ahead and put your hands in C position. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go.